So embedding these kinds of things and trying to recreate as much as you can that sense of your workplace in hybrid is a really good tip moving forward. And the question I really wanted to end on is what kind of tips like that do we have? What do you think is most necessary for hybrid work models to succeed going forward into the future?
I'm a process person. I go back to kind of my first answer here. I think it's really important that we think about intentionally what we're trying to get out of the office experience and what we're trying to get out of remote experience. And Alex touched on earlier, there's something unique and great about being in person, and we waste that so many times. I think a lot of companies right now are doing hybrid, where you kind of do your own thing and you come in when you want to, and that's great for a personal choice. But it's pretty lousy when your meeting experience in person ends up being 10 people in the office on a given day out of 100, and those 10 people, when they meet with each other, just meet via Teams anyways, right? So they're not even benefiting from that office experience. So I think being very intentional with what you're trying to get out of that experience, so that, hey, I'd rather say it's a free for all 2 days a week that you come in 1 or 2 or 3 days a week on a very clear day, I think is just far more useful. So be very intentional.
I think that's a great way to look at how to be successful moving forward. I also think transparency, being able to communicate with end users and with your employees well, and being able to find those things that are desirable for them and bringing that into their awareness so that they want to come into the office, or they're happy with the ability that they have to join meetings if they're not in the office. I think that a lot of the times we kind of skip over those people skills, those empathetic leadership skills that people sometimes are lacking, and I think that that is something that everyone can gap knowledge for and really work on to make hybrid and remote work successful.
Yeah, I think it's the real beauty of hybrid is it allows you for the best of everything, but whether you're actually using it is, and the options can be overwhelming to the point that it waters down the benefits of any given, way of working. So I think that like Alex said, structure and intention is important. And so is the aspect of trust, flexibility, and frankly, accountability. Um, that is a little bit different in a hybrid workforce.
I think also don't be afraid to practice. We've been practicing being in office for most of us our entire career. Some people have been remote for a long time, but don't be afraid to practice this and to give yourself some grace when we mess up. And I think as long as you have that good intention and the idea behind it is valuable, that people are going to get there, right? And it's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be certainly in the last 2 years. I'm not sure that we've gotten any better at hybrid, but as we move forward, the next 2 years, I hope that we spend a lot of time practicing and thinking about how do I build those intentional connections, right? So if I had to choose one thing, I would say, Touch Point Tuesday, something our group does. I know everyone loves doing kind of those kind of things, but that intentional thing where you say, like, get out of your normal meetings, get out of your normal like schedule of what you're doing, people you normally talk to, and meet with someone new or someone that is an old friend you haven't talked to in a while at your work. I think that's a really cool way of practicing kind of these new virtual skills and remembering how it's like to talk to these people without having it be some big production, right? It can just be, oh, well, 15 minutes, we'll talk to each other, it'll be fun, and I'll get back to kind of what I was doing the rest of my day.
That is one of the beautiful things about hybrid is that those like water cooler conversations can be with anybody. They don't have to be in your corporate office that day. It's with anybody that you want to talk to. Get to branch out.
I think that is the perfect place to end it. So hopefully we'll do more of these conversations in the future. Thank you both for taking the time to do this with me today. And if you're looking for change management services for your organization, or you just want to talk to us about hybrid, you know where you can find me and the Alexes.